What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review, but before we get into that, there's been a B patch. If you guys aren't super locked in following all the, TFT, Twitter stuff, I don't know, is this stuff in the client? I know everybody complains that it's not in the client, but what if I go to news? Would it be in the client? Yeah, nice try. In any case, there has been a B patch. This was, I don't know if I want to say it's a huge B patch for one comp, and it's pretty minor for everything else. So I want to give you the rundown of the B patch, and then we're going to VOD review a comp on the new B patch. So Anima Squad was kind of the really high performing vertical comp. So they nerfed that a little bit of Arm and MR lost at 5, and then a good bit actually lost at 7. The damage amp also getting hit at 5 and 7. And then who cares about hyper roll? So these are not disgusting nerfs to Anima Squad, but I mean a significant nerf, right? 45 to 35 when you're hitting 7 Anima, 20 to 15. These are significant nerfs, and I think this is mostly reasonable. Honestly, they probably could have hurt this comp just by bringing like Aurora down a bit, but I don't think this is too unreasonable. All right, so let's go into the other changes. So we got Rengar changes here. Rengar lose a little bit of AD and a little bit of his slash AD. So yeah, Rengar getting hit a little bit. This was one of the higher performing reroll comps, so I'm not too against this. Here is the crazy thing. For people who hate the strategist comp, I mean, blessed to Riot Games, Tibbers nerf. Annie Tibbers base HP goes from 300 at 1 star to 10. It goes from 600 at 2 star to 100. Now they're buffing up the AP to HP ratio from 400% to 500, 700, and 1000% of 3 star, I guess. So the more AP you build, you're going to get a tankier Tibbers. But if you build basically 0 AP on your Annie, your Tibbers is going to be, I mean, very squishy. Also is losing some of its AD. Also is losing some of its armor and MR. Kobuko, also another really outperforming unit in this comp, losing HP, losing mana, making him faster. Well, it's still like 120 mana, but the second cast is further to get to, and losing armor and MR, and his shield decays faster, and he gets less damage reduction on his ability, and he does less percent damage, like percent of enemies base HP damage. And Samira is getting nerfed as well. Samira losing AD, losing Armor, losing Omnivamp, and losing some Armor Shred, and then 10,000 IQ, small nerf there. So that's what we got for the B patch. My thoughts on it, honestly, is that the nerfs to the AMP comp, I know this comp was outperforming really hard, but this is, I mean, insane, honestly, to hit that comp that hard. I am really skeptical that, I mean, that comp still should be like the max cap level 9, level 10, like way to win out in games. If you end up in a spot where you're disgustingly far ahead of the lobby, I think it's perfectly reasonable for you to play the comp, but you will not see people full opening into that comp anymore. There is no world where you can roll down and be stable on just hitting stuff like a Kobuko 1, or definitely not an Annie 1. You need Annie 2, you need good items on her. It'll be interesting to see how Annie's build evolves now that she is a little bit more AP reliant. I think that's an interesting change for her. So yeah, but the big change is that this basically takes Fast 9 completely out of the meta. There's not another really dominant Fast 9 comp, and so my thought process is that this patch is going to be a lot more around like level 8 style comps. This is actually, yeah, and speaking of level 8 style comps, we see wasianiverson here. He is very much looking like he's going to play towards that this game. He actually gets pretty unlucky on his roll down there of the augments that are tailored, the trade augments. You'd love to take one of those, but all of his options don't really make any sense with this setup. So he is just going to play a Cluttered Mine game. I do like Cluttered Mine in that it gives you that flexibility because, like I said, this meta, my prediction is that we are going to be all in on Fast 8. And let's see, we check the Exotech here, which is going to be quite important for this game because stable alert. Spoiler alert, we are going to be playing around Exotech. Repulsor, Lantern, Pulse Stabilizer, Flux Capacitor. This might be one of the best setups. So let's talk Exotech items because, spoiler alert, this is an Exotech game. I mean, you probably know that from the fact that I have that in my title. So looking at Exotech items, there's basically a few conditions. One, you really don't want Cyberquill or Hollowbow. These are like the worst by far. I mean, if you're looking at these stats here, these are a good, 5, like 20 like a fifth of a placement is what I'm trying to say here. A fifth of a placement worse than the other ones. Outside of that, you don't feel too bad. Pulse Stabilizer and Flux Capacitor you can see are the best performing by far. These both actually do completely fine on Zeri. You can also do like a Flux Capacitor Zeri and then put Pulse Stabilizer on Jhin later. And Jhin item holds Pulse Stabilizer really, really well early. And then Corrupted Chassis and Repulsor Lantern are basically like equivalent as tank items. And Hyper Fangs is like a mediocre damage option that you can throw on units like Zeri, but you know, it's not super, super hype. So the main things to remember with this comp, if you see Cybercoil and Hollow Bow, you're not too excited. If you see something like this where you get a boom, boom, it was boom, 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 right? You're very excited to play this comp. So that's step one in thinking about potentially playing around Exotech. We're actually going to play a 3 AMP start here, which is actually kind of whoosh. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we have the Nidalee, so why not? But that's kind of step one when thinking about Exotech. And yeah, we're also just going to get a slightly better unit on this board. And yeah, almost, yeah, I mean, it looks like Wasian is going to just force this comp from this spot, which is a bit surprising. We don't have much direction at all towards this comp. I mean, the only direction is a Nidalee too. Honestly, if we hadn't taken Cluttered Mind, I could see this being Executioner's game, right? BT have Titans in this spot, but I mean, Executioner line did get nerfed a little bit, so I could definitely see, and maybe there's somebody playing it in this lobby. We'll have to do a bit more scouting, but yeah, that's basically, if you want to play the 7 Exotech version of the board, I think this is certainly the best version of the board. And then you throw Kindred on there like Wasian has here. Kindred provides you the 2 kind of like damage stats, gives you the rapid fire and the marksman for your Zeri and your Jhin. So really nice. And you also basically have enough frontline with the fact that you have the Bastion pair in the Jax plus the Sejuani, and then you also just have Mordekaiser as like I'm helping. So I mean, it's a very easy line to play, very straightforward. Obviously, itemization wise, Zeri loves her Gwynsu, so I imagine... Whoa, were we not? Wow. Belts here. Take from wasianiverson. I'm shocked, actually, the fact that he team planted this board out and he goes for the belt here. I mean, you won a lot of belts from this setup. You can make Sunfire. You can make Evan's Shroud in this spot. So, I mean, there isn't... I mean, I don't hate it. I'm just surprised that we wouldn't prioritize a Gwynsu in this spot here. That wasn't... Yeah, I was losing. I was like, that wasn't on the carousel, right? It's not like we took a Draven or something off the carousel, but we are going to pick up Cypher here and fit it onto the board here. This looks great for us. Yeah, for a second I was like, is that why he took it? Was it a Draven? I'm just silly, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't a Draven. It wasn't a Galio. It was just a guy, and he just wanted the belts. It's an interesting priority there, but I wonder if his thought process is just, yeah, this comp can use a decent number of belts. I mean, especially in his spot, right, where he has Chain plus Cloak here. He can go. You never want to make Gargoyle, right, because you're playing around Bastions. And so those units are already getting a bunch of Armor and Mar, so you don't really need the extra Armor and Mar for something like a Gargoyle, but something like an Even Shroud, something like a Sunfire. I've talked about how I really like Even Shroud in this comp just because you are, like, Zeri's jumping all around the board. Sorry for bumping the mic, but Zeri's jumping all around the board, so it's really, really hard for her to, you know, if you Last Whisper on one side, oftentimes she'll just jump to the other side of the board. So very often you want something like an Even Shroud that you can just throw like in the middle, though. Sejuani's a little bit interesting in that, you know, you usually want to put her on the left or the right side, second from the edge, so that she gets a stun off on the enemy corner, which we can talk about later. But in any case, Wasian here with a pretty decent start. Only downside is like it's a little bit of a, you know, we won 2 in the middle there, so we don't have like much of a loss streak here, but we are going to be a very rich boy once we get to our board here. We have 4 Cypher in already, and we've got the bench here. So yeah, I mean, we're going to be quite rich here from a money perspective and from a whatever we Cypher cash out perspective. But yeah, holding on to all this stuff here. Wow, yeah, we even see an Aphelios here. I mean, I'm surprised, honestly. I think his thought process, we scout the lobby a little bit here. There's an Anima player, so that's going to steal like Zaya's. There's, you know, this person's, so this person's the Executioner player for sure. So maybe his thought process is like this Aphelios unit, and more likely this Zaya unit is going to be too contested in this lobby. Like, we know for a fact that this person's going to play towards it. So even though we start off with the Aphelios here, we're saying, you know, it's going to be too hard to find a Zaya this game. I'm just going to play towards Zeri. It's smart. I mean, this is something that I've definitely been doing in my games recently, is just there's a plethora of 4-cost options that you can play for, especially now that these 5-cost options are getting taken out. So if you can play for all these 4-cost options, especially in a spot like this where you can play anything, just scout the lobby, okay, if there's, you know, 2 Xayah players and there's, you know, 2 people play, you know, Street Demon or something like that, then say, okay, I'll play Zeri. I mean, it's completely open in this spot, and you end up in really good spots when you do that kind of stuff. Hostile Takeover, I mean, I'd love to see him take it, but I'm pretty sure this Augment is just trash. I haven't seen anyone do well with it. I'd be, yep, okay. And I don't think Wagent believes in it either. Between Mentorship and Thorn Plated, Mentorship, I mean, I guess it's just Thorn Plated. Oh, Bad Luck Protection. My only problem is we're not going to have much crit on, like, are we going to build a bunch of crit? I mean, oh, I guess this is his idea, is that he can grab Pulse Stabilizer and it's going to give him, you know, 35% crit chance. He doesn't really care that much about the abilities can critically strike part of the Pulse Stabilizer, though it is kind of like building IE with this, which is not my favorite. I don't know. I'm interested. I know Bad Luck Protection, I think the secret tech is you play this with Hollow Bow. That's what I've heard, at least, and it makes a lot of sense. The other nice thing, I guess, is that it just gives us a glove, though. Do we really want glove that badly? I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. I mean, I don't think the Bramble option was amazing for him either. I don't think Wajin is like super psyched about this option here, but I mean, the Bramble option seems pretty mediocre when we already have another Chain Vest. Like, we're gonna end up with 4 tank items when we, you know, haven't really completed a damage item yet. So, I mean, I think that's part of it. And I don't know, maybe we'll see some Bad Luck Protection Zeri pop off. I mean, it can't be, I mean, it can definitely be bad. We'll see if it's, but I mean, like, you definitely can't build like something like an LW. Could just throw in an IE, but I mean, really, I think you're gonna be doing very little damage if you go something like an IE. We do end up fighting this other Cypher player here who just kind of pivoted into it and is going to grief our loss streak here. A bit unfortunate, actually, because we were on pace to have a really nice cash out here. So, unfortunate. Not really too much we can do without like full opening our board, and I think we're in a good enough spot where we don't really need to do that. Second pick on Carousel here. So here's another option to take that Gwyn. So if we want it, is he going to ignore it this time? No, looks like we're going to, yeah. I mean, I think you kind of have to grab this rod here, and it's not even the end of the world if you get another rod. You can go stuff like Gunblade, you can go another Gwyn, so you can go a Crown Guard here. Rod can be a lot of stuff, so I don't think you mind at all. That's like, oftentimes when you're in a spot like this, you're saying like, do I mind getting another copy of the item that I'm taking off Carousel? And I don't think the answer here is yes. I think you're perfectly fine with getting another copy off Carousel. So yeah. All right, slam the Gwynsu here onto the Draven. We're just gonna like kind of corner all our units, really just to try to kill something. The goal always when you're lost streaking is to kill as many units as possible. Also, I've had like for a second I was like, I haven't been recording I like accidentally like muted my mic. Like, for some reason I was like, I thought that I had muted my mic the entire time. I don't know why my brain was thinking that. Other point about this comp that I wanted to bring up, but then I kind of sidetracked myself. This is one of those comps that does well with a ton of extra components. I'm trying to think. There was a comp last set that really liked when you had like a ton of items. Scrap, obviously, yeah. So it's a lot like Scrap in that way, where the more components, the better, because Exotech units, if you guys haven't read the trait, you probably should. It scales off of the number of components that you have, the number of items that you have on units, and so if you can get a 3-item Zeri, 3-item Sejuani, 3-item Jhin, 3-item, you know, Varus, you can do a lot. I mean, honestly, yeah, I think you take this, though. Wow, what a cash. I mean, what a shop. Oh, I'm actually blown away by Wajin's priority this game on this comp, because once again, I spoiled myself and I know that he's playing it. If I hadn't watched him play this game, he has turned down the Aphelios comp. He has turned down this Dynamo comp, which I think is actually quite nice. Like, he's only got eyes for Zeri here. Once he made the Gwynsu, he said, you know what, I am just gonna hard force Exotech here. And I mean, can you blame him? I mean, we'll see. Pick up a Koboko here, who is a decent like random in on this board, just adds some frontline here. We don't hit everything 2-star, but we hit a lot. We're gonna throw the Pulse Stabilizer there. Gonna put these items on a Mordekaiser. TG on the Varus. TG, by the way, all right, yeah, he's trying to figure out the last 2 of his slams. I mean, another TG wouldn't be so bad. You could make a Deathblade Zeri. Where did he? Oh, he's not 7 yet. He still has the Flux Capacitor, and that has to go on Zeri. I mean, Clockwork Accelerator, I don't think your other options are great. I mean, I think your other options are pretty trashier. Oh, Moonlight is, wait, no. Moonlight sounds bad here, because you're gonna... Wow, we're going for the Moonlight. Okay, so here's my... I mean, okay, and yeah, we're gonna put the Flux Capacitor onto Zeri. I think this makes perfect sense. I mean, I guess what you could do is you can itemize both. The problem is sometimes you're gonna 3-star the Kindred, right? And you really don't want this Kindred to be 3-starred here. So do you just... I mean, what you could do is you could just cut Kindred for something like, you know, any other rapid fire unit. You could throw just like a Draven onto the board and live with that. Because, I mean, A 3-star Jax is going to be nice. It's going to be very nice, especially because you actually can itemize him here. We just move all of our tank items over there. Yeah, I mean, he's just immediately going to get out of the Kindred here. He actually just completely decides to drop out of yeah, I mean, I think this makes perfect sense on the board. And like, he is level 8, so he's got to drop something, right? To play the Koboko, he has to drop the Kindred anyway. So now he has to play for the Jax 3. All right, this is pretty sick. And yeah, you lose out on the Kindred, which is a little bit tragic, losing out on good traits onto your board. But the upside is we get a huge Jax. We can just say, you know, we'll have enough attack speed from the Guinsoo, from, I mean, I guess the Flux gives a little bit of attack speed. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. And I mean, the board is really, truly churning at this point. We have a ton of units itemized here. We can start throwing extra items onto this Jhin here. Normally, you're really hyped for Jhin items. In this spot, oh, a little tragic there. But yeah, normally you're really hyped for Jhin items. In this spot, it's a little bit less hyped because we're not going to activate his traits. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe we can get like an Aurora, speaking of which, onto this board down the line. I guess we'll see. Is Aurora not just already better than Koboko, actually? Just, I mean, Aurora can throw in Koboko, but, I mean, I guess the answer is no. Interesting. I mean, Bruiser HP doesn't really seem that relevant onto your board. Maybe he just wants the Buko. Maybe he just wants the Koboko on his board. I mean, this unit, they nerfed him many ways, but he still is a bunch of CC, and a Zero on Aurora is still going to take a while to cast. So I guess the idea is that it's actually pretty unlikely that Aurora is going to be able to get a cast off, throw a Koboko in, and then that Koboko is going to cast. It's much more likely they just throw a big Buko on your front line, and you feel good about that. But yeah, we've went out most of this stage really without much. I mean, we found the Zeri 2, but we didn't even find Sedge 2 on this board. Most other stuff is upgraded, but the TG so nice. I mean, you have to cash out. The other thing about TG, I probably interrupted myself before I said it. TG counts as 3 items in this comp. So this Varus is getting all the benefit from being a 3 full item Varus, but you only had to use 2 components on him. Or, I mean, I guess we got the TG cash out, but I mean, it is 2 components. So TG is fantastic in this comp. Now that I think about it, Lucky Gloves in this comp sounds a bit crazy. The only downside is obviously you're not going to be able to Lucky Glove something like your Zeri. Usually you're going to be throwing on these items. So maybe like a Band of Thieves. Band of Thieves into this comp sounds like maybe the single best first augment, so maybe something that you can think about. We got this egg as well that's going to hatch, which is fantastic for us because that means more components. Very, very likely. We have everything as far as like heal cut and armor shred out of the way, so we're just looking at itemization at this point. Not sure what this rod's going to become, but another TG is going to come down here. I don't know, are we going to make something like a gun blade? Yeah, I mean, kind of has to. And then Sterax is just going to sit on the front line. A little bit awkward, but you can see Wei Jin's priority on the TG. I mean, having every single unit itemized in this comp is so big. It's just so much stats. It's just insane. And I mean, this is a comp that they actually buffed the stats from PvE to this. So like the stats you get are really big. All right. Gonna roll down here. We can actually downgrade the Jax, but he misses it. That's, I mean, -2 gold, but not the end of the world there. But whenever you have Moonlight, you can actually downgrade the unit that's being upgraded here because it's going to be upgraded anyway. So who cares about if it's a Jax 1 or a Jax 2? Because it's always going to be a Jax 3. So -2 gold there, but I won't penalize him too much for it. We get the God of the Net in, who's another fun unit on this board. We're basically... I'm actually curious what we're going to God of the Net. It's a little bit sus in this setup. Normally, I'm really excited for it, and we do get our cash out here. A Pan. Ooh. So we're looking at... I mean, he was looking at potentially... Ooh. This is kind of an interesting idea as well. Just throw the Vhagar onto the board here, and then Pan here. Glove plus bow. We're just not even going to worry about the Pan here, and we're just going to make Last Whisper onto Jhin. Yeah, I mean, I guess... Really? Is there... I mean, I feel like he had a lot of decent options out of Pan there. Am I crazy? Let me... Team Builder? Like, let me look at the stuff there. Pan, doesn't it... I mean, he was hovering over it. He had Rapid Fire. Huh. I'm quite surprised he doesn't just go for Rapid Fire emblem there. But, okay, yeah. Rapid Fire or Marks. Actually, I didn't see if he had a sword, but he had Rapid Fire that he surely could have made just to get 2 Rapid Fire. I guess his thought is that LW is better than Rapid Fire onto this Zeri. But, I mean, hey, the Vhagar is a nice, kind of cool addition onto this board. Means that you get to... play around this Koboko. He's moving all of his TGs around. The Exotech emblem going to go on Koboko so that we can actually get that Exotech value onto him. Oh, wait, where did we get Exotech emblem from? Am I crazy? He just grabbed it off Carousel. He grabbed it off Carousel. I was looking at the stats. Okay, sorry. So we grab Exotech emblem. This all is forgiven, I guess. Not really, but we do get to Exotech the Koboko here, which is huge. And now we can just move the tank items over there. Okay, beautiful. And then it's so many removers to move all this stuff over, but okay. We get to Exotech the Koboko. We get the Steadfast Heart onto him, and then Even Shroud. Yeah, this looks pretty reasonable. And then move the rest of the items over there. Throw the Pan onto the Mordekaiser here. We got the Kindred back in, and she got hit by the Moonlight. I mean, okay, I guess this is the idea, is that he does want to fit Kindred back on the board, and we're just going to 50-50 coin flip whether it goes onto the Jax or the Kindred. I hate it a bit, but we'll see. I mean, maybe, yeah, and immediately we get the TF, and we're like, okay, let's get out of this stupid Kindred, because, yeah, I really would not want a Kindred 3 with 0 items on my board, personally. So this is going to be the final board. This is a cool, like, kind of creative version of the board with these spats or just the one spat, really, that we have with the Vagar. I mean, it's a cool way to cap out. Gets you Techie onto the board as well, which is not bad. Koboko's obviously a bruiser, so it all fits together. Fighting this Annie plus Samira board and just gets cleared. You can see the nerfs there. Really, really hurting that comp. And also just the fact that, I mean, we're in a fantastic setup with all of these Exotech units, so feeling really, really good here. I've been actually taking a peek at those other 2 boards that we're fighting here, so we'll see what they look like. But I mean, the spot is looking very nice. The Jax 3 as well. We're mostly done itemizing everybody at this point. We can, throw some extra items onto Muerto Kaiser here. We could move. Not so much to move here. I guess you just take like a Steadfast Start for Mord and just chill. I mean, not much else, right? There's not anything that you really want to move around. He's really in the tank here, but yeah, I don't think there's too much here. All right, we fight this Anima board here. 2 Anima spats for Emily, and oh my god, her spot is actually crazy. I mean, she might actually be able to make it to level 10 and get to 10 Anima. I mean, it doesn't look too far off there. We take this loss here. Yeah, I mean, Anima is the other really, really standout comp of the patch. Even though it's been nerfed, I think it's still quite good. But I mean, Emily's spot, Anima +1 into, that was Support Spire. I mean, she's kind of got the full house of the Anima augments. Oh yeah, and the other comp here is Executioners. Okay, we have Sedge in the perfect spot. Sedge is going to get like basically a full board stun here, and Koboko good ult here. We just need to aggro onto we aggro onto the Rengar, pick him off. That's a top 2 locked in. So it's just us and Emily Wang here. All right. We're looking at level 10 as our cap. Once again, it could be the Aurora onto this board just to finish capping you out. Aside from that, I don't think there's too much. Emily up to 50 gold. I mean, the second she reaches level 10, does she already have it? She's got a Seraphine and a Yuumi on bench. Who is she missing, actually? She's missing 1, right? Unless, yeah, Seraphine, Yuumi, because she has Aurora in, right? So yeah, she's missing 1, it looks like there. Not sure who that she doesn't have on that board there. Hope that there's not another Anima spat. Okay, there's not. So she does have to find whatever the last one is on this setup. Maybe it's a Lowy. Does she have a Lowy on her board? I guess we could, I don't know. We'll peek over there and see. Maybe it's Vayne. Probably Vayne or Alawi, most likely. All right. Level here, we do get the Dynamo in. We're going to get... Oh, I mean, you can just play the Aurora now. Throw in the Urgot, as people do in our world here. Going to slam this item here. Scout here. Okay, so she's not there yet. She's not 10 yet. She does... There's Silas on the board. There's that. Does she have Alawi on the board? Nah. I mean, we can go back and look just to get a full sense for it. She has Jack. Yeah, she does have Alawi. She's missing Vayne. So she has these 2. She's missing Vayne, and she needs to go 10. So she needs to go 10 and find 1 Vayne is the win con for Emily Wang here. I don't know how much gold she's at. Probably a lot, because we are at 6-5. But, I mean, 1 more fight and we win this game. So really just got to roll down and hide the Vaynes. Oh, that was really quick. Wow. She found Vayne in, like, literally the first shop. All right. Well, I think we're not going to beat this board. We did get a Dynamo emblem of our own, but 10 Anima squad is pretty good. We can see the lovely... Which one did she pick? The train or the gift? She picked the train. Trains flying through our entire board. Not much to do against that, I will say, but a great performance. Weijin was going to win this lobby if Emily did not hit 10 Anima there. So a really good performance, showing off a really, really strong comp. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my other links down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, as always.